Oh, God, I thought your sister forgot to take the garbage out again.
Long story.
All right, let's get some fresh air. You can tell me all about it.
Dexter Original Sin, Episode 7, The Big Bad Body Problem. I continue to be impressed with the quality of the prequel to date. The idea of a Dexter series without Michael C. Hall in the lead. A prequel, no less. In a universe that was already rich with existing flashback content, I initially had a lot of difficulty believing it would ever work at all, even with Hall's voiceover narration. But I think it works very well for what it is, and Hall's voiceover presence just amplifies the vintage Dexter vibe the show already manages to exude. At this point in the story, we have 3 bigger storylines going on that all seemingly relate to Dexter's origin. First, we have the flashback within the flashback, which highlights Harry Morgan's extramarital affair with his CI Laura Moser, Dexter's mother. Then we have the NHI killer, initially theorized by Dexter. Eventually, LaGuerta bought into it, and now her and Harry are investigating after getting Spencer's blessing. Finally, we have the revelation that Spencer is the big bad. We didn't know until this episode that it was Spencer all along. Spencer was originally portrayed as a typical cop type, where his dedication to his job along with the obligations and the stress that came with the demanding territory took its toll. It complicated and interfered with his family life, and ultimately led to divorce where she found comfort in another man Spencer accused of being a homewrecker. Now it has been revealed that he was the one who kidnapped and murdered Jimmy Powell. And apparently he even kidnapped his own son, Nicky, following the same MO, removing his son's finger. Spencer as an adversary potentially becomes interesting when considering his working relationship with Harry. In a lot of ways, Captain Spencer has similarities with Captain Matthews, particularly with their shared disdainful attitude toward Maria. It was long strongly suggested that Matthews may have known Harry's dirty little secret, his role in creating Dexter, where it is further hinted that not only did Matthews know, that he perhaps even approved, or at least disliked LaGuerta so much that he didn't care. Spencer will almost certainly become Dexter's grand finale big bad victim. And while it is interesting to see if he proves to be worthy and formidable, it is equally interesting to consider how Harry's advice might factor into all this. The NHI killer should undoubtedly provide Dexter with a near-future victim, which is poetic in the context that Dexter himself was the one whose instincts and insights as a killer enabled him to see something that law enforcement almost certainly would have otherwise missed. This circles back to Dexter first earning the job, where he impressively identifies victims of the same killer, where Miami Metro apparently recruits using photos from ongoing investigations. This likewise circles back to Deb's early days as a detective, when she often consulted with Dexter, fully aware of his incredible talent in that realm. And as Dexter continues to grow and evolve as a fledgling serial killer, Deb continues to become an outcast in her evolution, losing her one and only friend, where Dexter is the only one she has a true bond with. She falls back on Geo, who is almost like the anti-Brian Moser, in that something seemed off about Geo right out of the gate. But the relationships have similar vibes in my opinion. All of this relates to the cold relationship she has with her father. She was never an especially high priority for Harry. This ties into the other story, one where we have already known the outcome since the very first season of Dexter, the fate of Laura Moser being murdered in the shipping yard. We know that nutjob Harry will eventually adopt Dexter and train him to become the ultimate serial killer. We know Brian Moser goes on to become the ice truck killer. And we know that Brian and Dexter eventually have a showdown. Brother versus brother. Serial killer versus serial killer. And that Dexter ultimately prevails, choosing his adopted sister Deb over his biological brother, which poetically ties in with Harry choosing his adopted son Dexter over his biological daughter. We learn a lot of key details about Harry's affair with Laura, about her dangerous year-long journey trying to help him get Hector Estrada, The information isn't really necessary, and the outcomes here are already known, but credit to the creators. They have kept it all very interesting and engaging. Despite all of that, I'm still inclined to believe that there is some unexpected twist coming up regarding something with Harry's flashback sequences, either with Laura or Brian or Harry himself. There's a reason we're getting so much on this storyline. And to date, Harry remains the only character who's really been given any key pieces of new information. One pattern that keeps repeating itself here is that Dexter wants to kill someone. Harry initially puts forth a feeble objection, and Dexter quickly gets him to change his mind, often in the course of the same conversation. Indeed, methinks nutjob Harry doth protest too much. Doesn't matter how many screw-ups and mishaps unfold, whether it's Dexter breaking rule number 1 of the code and keeping a trophy after his first kill, the foot chase that ended in fiasco when Mad Dog was running away in his underwear and got run over, or the debacle with the arm that wouldn't stay underwater, or the near arrest when Dexter had Reed's body in his vehicle as he pulled up to one of his own former crime scenes. It's been one disaster after another for Dexter, and Harry is almost manipulating Dexter and encouraging him to press on, despite all the missteps. Circling back to the inevitable fate of Laura Moser, and the big twist that will almost certainly come with that territory, it almost feels like Harry is going to deliberately set Laura up. He's been exploiting her, keeping her in harm's way, and having an extramarital affair with her. Learning Harry had a son who drowned, and likewise learning that Harry knew Laura's children well, bonding with Dexter, and being kind of cold and distant with the oddball older son Brian, it becomes clear that Harry's own bond with Dexter, not only does it supersede his bond with his wife and newborn daughter, but it also feels like it overshadows his actual bond with Laura herself. I'm not sure that things are headed in that sort of direction, but with the Spencer revelation and the amount of time spent on Harry's flashbacks, I think it's worth reconsidering what aspect of Laura's demise do we not know. I, for one, am interested in finding out. What do you think? Please share your thoughts in the comments section. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed, and have a wonderful night.
They're trophies. That's sick. You really want to go after a professional hitman with decades of experience?
Who better to fit the code?
I can't say yes unless I have some proof. Do everything the way we practiced. No shortcuts. And no fucking trophies.
Reyes is going to die unless I do what you train me to do.
He's a professional hitman, Dexter. You think you can beat Michael Jordan at one-on-one?
Who?
How did everything go with Mad Dog?
Everything went well. But he woke up a little early, and I just cut the ankle ropes to get his pants off.
Why were you taking his pants off? You let a half-naked man run screaming into the streets. I'm imagining that you were chasing after him. Smelling salts. So you don't have to wait as long when you get Levi Reed. You had a dead body in the back of that truck, and you were surrounded by homicide detectives.
Yeah, but it's not like anybody knew.
Oh, Jesus.
Morgan!
What happened? Alligator came out of nowhere.
Please, don't tell me Levi's body is still in the truck.
He'll be buried in a landfill by now.
All right, well, that explains the smell.
I'll do better. Promise.
All right, go shower. Burn those clothes, and I'll see you at work.